You're on the verge of GM. Any advice for pushing to Masters 1 to get there? You probably just need either a little bit more practice. 2, you might have an ego. Or 3, you're just too afraid and you're trying too hard to compensate because of those last few games to hit your rank up and you've got a mental block. You think getting out of Masters is an ego/mental thing? Yes and no. Depends. There obviously is some skill involved, but a lot of Masters players think that, like, they are the main character. And it's like, bro, you're the worst player on our team. Stop talking. Oh, you're Masters 2 or 3 and then oh yeah, you need to improve them. I thought you were just constantly Masters 1 and you couldn't break through it. Yeah, no. So you're looking at your peak and thinking deserve to be higher. No, your peak comes naturally. Your peak will always come naturally. Like, you should be focusing on your average going higher. Like, if you're touching Masters 1 and then falling back down, you're not actually Masters 1. You're not actually GM. It's the same thing when in Overwatch 1, when people hit GM, they hit 4K, and then they fall back to Masters, they would say, oh, well, I'm a GM player. No, you're not. You're a Masters player who peaked GM. That's different. It's the same thing as, like, someone says, oh, I'm top 500. No, you peaked out, you touched top 500 one time, then you fell out of it. You're not top 500. You're GM or Masters, right? Top 500 players are like Emo, who play 1,000 games a season. Where is he at? I think he's like somewhere in the 70s right now. Oh, there he is. 866 games played this season. Rank 70. That's a good example of, like, doesn't need to, like, hit high and then kind of, like, stop playing or whatever. Literally just constantly averages in top 500. That's the difference. The same thing happens for all ranks. Too many people focus on their peak as their best, and it's like, no, that's your peak. That's not how you are average. Like, my peak is rank 2. I actually could have technically got rank 1 by just not playing anymore. But not the point. I don't really care about shit like that. Point is, though, in a perfect environment, absolutely try hard, with my characters being meta, and just absolutely going for it, I could hit it. But that does not mean I'm an average rank 1 player. I'm like average low to mid top 500. That's what I hang around in, that's what I care about. I also don't care about super tryharding anymore, to be honest with you. I only flip it on and off if I need to, like, finish with top 500 for the end of the season like I did the last couple days. Are you? Yeah. I barely even played this season. Look at that. I have... Okay, let's see. Statistics. Actually, it's going to show all roles, which is a little unfair. So I have 77 games won on tank. Let's say I had a 50-50 win rate. I didn't even play 150 games this season. I played about 150 games this season. The whole season. Let's say, and that is with a 50-50 win rate. Which I'm pretty sure I have a higher than 50-50 win rate. But yeah, I mean, top 500 is not that impressive anymore. At least to me. I'm sure a day will come in a few seasons from now when I'm really not playing the game anymore, where I will not be able to struggle or hold it that much anymore. I'm sure the day will come. But I think at that point, I'm probably on my way out the door. Imagine XQC remained as an Overwatch streamer. Please get out of Overwatch. He literally just went live. I'm not even you as you said that. He literally went live. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit. That's a little spooky. That's actually very spooky. Holy. Why did XQC stop streaming Overwatch? God, I actually got a real... I thought I knew the reason, but Seagull gave me a better history lesson recently. But basically, XQC cared way more about streaming, even in Overwatch League. Because he realized that Overwatch League was paying him pennies, and he was losing. I think he even said publicly one time he lost money going into Overwatch League between the fines and moving and renting in LA and all that. So he wanted to focus on streaming more. And then his stream was growing, and then he went to Variety, actually. His Variety was very small. He was like 2,000-3,000 viewer Variety streamer. And then TwitchCon happened, and he went to TwitchCon, and he hung out with, like, Soda Poppin' in his group, and they're all just nuts. And so he's nuts, too. So he hung out with them, and everyone was like, holy shit, this guy's insane. And then he went from, like, the 10, 12K Overwatch streamer, and like 2-3K Variety to, like, I think he had like an 80K stream at TwitchCon or after TwitchCon. It was like around that time, and then he shot into like the 20K range while on Overwatch, and that's what everybody remembers, that like 2018 2019 1 year where he was like a 20K Andy in Overwatch. But he was also just hard leading into React meta at that point and just like watching videos in queue. remember he'd always watch videos in queue the whole time. And so, and that was also, I believe, pre-roll queue in some time. So, it was pre-roll queue. So queues were longer. They weren't that long, but they were decently long. And then he'd watch videos in queue. And so everybody loved to watch him watch videos in queue. And then he started uploading to YouTube like crazy. And he had like, there was like 10 channels that would all upload his. It was like Daily Dose of XQC and a couple others. And then he ended up hiring Daily Dose of XQC to run his own channel. So they basically, so all the little, you know, fan channels kind of died off because he claimed that the best won. And then grew that and kept doing like LSF, kept doing variety, or kept doing like React stuff while in Overwatch. And then that grew a bunch. And then I think he got to the point where the stream sniping in Overwatch had gotten so bad that like he was like not able to play that much anymore. Plus I think Moxie like went to college or something, so he wasn't around as much. So he had to solo queue, and so solo queue plus with 20,000 stream snipers. I remember those days actually. I used to sometimes queue up Overwatch just randomly, and I could tell you when I got into an XQC stream sniper queue, because I would get into a game and I could recognize like 8 people in the game that were all stream snipers, and they'd all be like, "Oh man, we missed them," you know. And like some of them would have to troll to get out. Some people would be tryharding to get out fast. Like it was insane. You could. I remember like there was like a Reaper one trick guy who would always stream snipe him. There was like 1 or 2 support streamers.
How are you doing, Flats?
There was a few like very notorious stream snipers, and I used to every once in a while I bumped into them. You know, I was like, Venom thinks of 3 months. I remember those. I actually very distinctly remember a Numbani game where XQC wanted to play Winston, so I played Diva, and he knew I was a tank player. He was like, Flats. He was like, no, play Winston. I go, you have 4 stream snipers on the other team playing Reaper and others. There is no shot you are making me play Winston. That's on you. And he just started losing it. He was like, no, don't make me do it. You can play it. He's like, you know how to play Winston. I'll play Diva for you. I go, no, I'll play Diva for you. And so I basically spent the entire game just chasing him around the map, DMing him, and we won. And it was a show, though. It was so bad. I'm talking like second point Numbani. Like we're literally almost like to the end, like to second point cap, and I hear this Reaper jumping out of a tree behind on high ground. Supports for free behind us. Easy, free ult. I go, no, he has ult. He's coming to solo ult him because he's AFK on point talking to chat. And he jumps out of a tree and goes for the solo ult on him. And I saved him with like 10 HP of defense matrix. Literally 10 HP. I was like, dude, it's like an escort mission in a PvE game. What the is this? Like, not only are you trying to play the game and win, but you also have to realize that he's gonna get hunted the whole time. Does this still exist on YouTube? I wasn't a streamer. I was a random ladder rat who also worked in Overwatch League at the time. I was literally a random ladder rat. I was like, I just happened to be really good at the game, so I would get in those games a good often. You know what I mean? Like, it was wild, dude. I remember that as like one of my holy shit, this is insane. And that was one of the first times I ever actually felt bad for big streamers. I was like, holy shit. If I had to deal with this every game, I'd go insane. What else at times? I remember I bumped into XQC off stream one night, and I got into a game with him and Harb. And him and Harb were just shooting the shit. Harb was streaming, XQC wasn't. And he was like, he's just a different person off stream. He's like so chill, just like chilling out. They ended up duoing. After that. It was during GOAT's meta. So I got into their games like 3 straight games in a row. And I was basically just perma brig duty. Because he would play Winston Ryan, Harb would play Zarya, and because it was GOATs, and I was like, well, I guess I'm playing brig. So I was like perma brig for like 3 straight games. But those games were all a blast, because they were just talking about stupid the entire time. Flats, do you ever have people recognize you and play extra hard like they have something to prove? Yes. That's why I can't play quick play anymore. Actually, I wonder, Retro, is this going to be a video at some point? There's probably should be. There was like a game of quick play like literally like 5 days ago, where I was just playing Ramacho, just doing whatever. Like, it was my first game of the day. I'm just throwing some punches, whatever. And after the first round of control, the other team's like, wait, that's real Flats. Wait, it's real Flats. I got solo ulted like 8 times by the end of that game. and I finished the game with 43 limbs, 22,000 damage in a quick play game. You know why I had that? Because I had them 5-manning me, chasing me around the map on Ramatra. They went from just playing like a normal quick play game to playing like it was grand finals. It was like I was playing a f***ing coordinated contenders team. So yes, I literally, it's insane. Like because realistically, it's boring to just like go around and just people in quick play. It's boring. I'm sitting talking to chat. I'm just clicking buttons. I'm looking to my other monitor half the time, and then I look back and there's 4 people who are standing on my dead body, and all of their keyboards are broken at the same time, and their crouch keys are getting stuck. And I'm like, dude, wait a minute. I wasn't even paying attention. What? I was like 10 HP hiding in a corner. Why the f are you guys so... What? You know what I mean? And then it just gets wild. Turn on the client-side streamer mode. Yeah, true. Real.